So back in 2013, a startup company called Doorbell released a very simple idea: a doorbell with a camera, letting homeowners see who was outside of their door without even opening their door. A few years later, Amazon bought it and rebranded the company into the name that we so commonly know, Ring. And today it's on millions and millions of homes around the world. It was meant to bring comfort, safety, peace of mind for you to just see who's outside when you're not home. But sometimes what Ring captures is truly terrifying and anything but comforting. Because when you give a camera a front row seat to your doorstep, you don't just see friendly neighbors or delivery drivers, you sometimes catch things that you were probably never meant to see. Strange visitors, disturbing behavior, and encounters that feel more like nightmares than home security. So today we're gonna watch a few very creepy things that were caught on Ring doorbell cameras, and definitely don't watch these if you are easily spooked. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Sian, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. I just make creepy videos about cults, crimes, conspiracies, you name it, anything that is dark and haunting and disturbing, I love. So if you enjoy that, then you're in the right place, and please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. So let's dive straight into the first video. So in the middle of the night in Salinas, California, the streets are mostly quiet, as it would be anywhere in the middle of the night. Most of the neighborhood is fast asleep, but on this night, on January 8th in 2019, one family's brand new Ring doorbell camera captured something so bizarre, so unsettling that it went viral almost instantly. At around 5 a.m., a man appeared on their doorbell camera, the doorbell camera of the Dungan family, and he was on their porch. He doesn't knock, he doesn't ring the bell, instead, he just leans in very close. And then he does something that nobody could have possibly expected. He begins licking the doorbell. What's even stranger is that this wasn't just a passing moment of madness. It wasn't just him coming up to the doorbell, licking it, and then skedaddling. He didn't stop after a few seconds. He definitely didn't stop after a few minutes. This went on for nearly 3 hours. Three hours of him returning again and again to the doorbell and licking it as though he was completely entranced by it. The man, who was later identified as Roberto Daniel Arroyo, didn't stop at the doorbell either. At one point, he just fiddled with an extension cord lying on their porch. At another, he wandered into the yard and relieved himself, all of it caught on their Ring doorbell camera for them to see. Inside of the house, the Dungan family, including their very young children, was sleeping very peacefully, completely unaware of what was happening just a few feet from their porch. It wasn't until later that morning that they reviewed the footage and discovered what this man was doing. The homeowner, Sylvia Dungan, would later tell reporters that she could laugh about it afterwards since no one was harmed, nothing was damaged, and the man clearly just didn't have the intention of harming them or breaking in or anything. He was just being weird. But still, imagine waking up, opening your phone, and finding the footage of a stranger not just lurking on your porch and watching you, but obsessively licking your doorbell. That is more than enough to spook me. I think that would creep the shit out of me. And that's the very eerie thing about Ring cameras. They don't just capture the ordinary comings and goings of everyday life. Sometimes they show us very strange and very uncomfortable behavior of people who probably think they are not being filmed, although this guy looks pretty aware. I don't know, maybe he was just on something. But yeah, pretty scary first video, I would say. On to the second one. On the night of August 24th, 2018, in Montgomery, Texas, a Ring doorbell camera captured an image that shocked the world. In the dead of night, a woman appeared on a doorstep, partially undressed, and with what looked like hand restraints dangling from her wrists. She frantically rang the bell and then vanished right back into darkness. This footage that was captured spread very quickly online, It sparked some very wild theories and fears that she may be connected to a local missing person. But when investigators compared her to known profiles, unfortunately, nothing matched. The mystery grew so much deeper, and a very urgent search for her began. This woman looked very frantic and definitely in need of help, so people were going crazy with different theories and the fact that we need to find her to find out if she's okay. 5 days later, the truth eventually began to surface. Deputies arrived at a nearby home, responding to a welfare check. Inside was a man named Dennis Collins. As officers approached, Collins threatened suicide, and tragically, he did follow through with it. It was then revealed that the woman in the footage of the Ring doorbell camera was actually Dennis's girlfriend, a 32-year-old girl named Lauren. She had been the victim of ongoing domestic abuse, and that very desperate moment at the doorbell where she was ringing it was unfortunately her silent plea for help. Weeks later, Lauren very bravely spoke out on national television. She described waking up to her boyfriend pressing down on her chest, stuffing cloth into her mouth, and fearing for her life. Somehow in that moment, she actually managed to escape into the night in search of help from anyone, and she landed up on these people's doorstep, ringing their doorbell, and her terror was of course immortalized in those very haunting Ring camera images. And like other strange encounters, this one became very real, very fast. It wasn't a prank or just bizarre curiosity or just weird behavior. It was a glimpse into a person's nightmare of a life. But I'm glad Lauren is safe and she got out of the awful situation that she was in. On to the third video. Now imagine this, you install a Ring doorbell camera to keep your children safe. And then this becomes the very thing that lets danger into your home. For the LeMay family in Memphis, Tennessee, that nightmare came true just days after they set up the Ring camera in their daughter's playroom. And instead of just getting peace of mind, knowing what she's busy with, watching her play, they got something out of a horror movie. And when I say horror movie, I bloody well mean it. This would terrify me. And if you didn't know this, you can speak through some of the cameras. So if you install a camera in a playroom and it's a Ring doorbell camera, you can look through the camera, look at your daughter playing, and then also record your voice and, speak to her through the camera. The camera also has a microphone for you to speak back. So the footage begins innocently enough. The little girl hears just a weird, strange noise coming from the camera and then asks, "Who's this?" Maybe thinking it's her mom or her dad watching over her. And then an unfamiliar man's voice responds with, "I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?"
Who is that?
I'm your best friend.
I honestly don't even know what I would do. I'd lose my mind. And what follows is even more chilling. This hacker encourages the girl to smash her toys, whispering that she can do whatever she wants, trying to manipulate her like a puppet.
You can mess up your room, you can break your TV, you can do whatever you want.
And it's very disturbing, not just because of the words, but because it reveals how easily a child's trust can be twisted by this faceless stranger and this weird voice coming from the corner of her room, hiding behind a screen. The very eerie interaction ends when the girl screams for her mother, cutting the encounter short.
I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?
But the damage was already done. I mean, the camera that is supposed to provide some sort of security and safety and comfort for the family had instead become something that someone hacked into to try and speak to their children. Ring later showed users that there were new security measures put in place, though how exactly the hacker gained access remains pretty uncertain. No one knows how this guy got access. And that's what makes it so freaking scary, because if someone can just invade your home digitally through a camera, speaking directly to your children, then how safe do you really feel? I wouldn't feel safe at all. This one was bad. And moving on to the next one, in this footage captured on a very quiet afternoon, a man in a dark hoodie just casually approaches a home. It's around 2 p.m, broad daylight, and he just rings the bell, likely checking if anyone's inside the house, as you know, is there anyone home? And what he doesn't know is that the homeowner is in fact home, but wearing headphones, completely unaware of what is happening on his front door. Moments later, the man leaves, only to return with an accomplice dressed in a white hoodie. The two stand on the porch, convinced that their house is empty, and then it happens. The man in black suddenly slams his foot into the door with a very violent kick, the crack echoing through the house. It's very bold and it's very brazen, and we know that this guy wants to get into the house. And it's that exact moment when the homeowner, startled by the noise, rips off his headphones and yells. This single shout is enough to send the would-have-been burglars scrambling, fleeing from the porch and vanishing down the street. They obviously thought that no one was home since no one responded, but the homeowner was home. And that is also terrifying because they could just be people, going around, ringing doorbells, seeing if people are home and taking their chances when someone seems to not be home. Terrifying. And if he hadn't been home, they probably would have gained access and he would have seen it all through his Ring doorbell camera from wherever he was. In this next clip, filmed in broad daylight, a man approaches the home and rings the bell. Then the homeowner answers remotely through the speaker system. Then the stranger begins a very unsettling conversation. He claims that he knows the family, that he had once cleaned the tiles on their front porch, but the way that he says it, very vague and very uncertain, only raises more questions. Who is he and why has he come back now?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, can I help you?
Yeah. We work around here.
Sorry, what?
And I work around here.
You work here?
Yeah.
And as the homeowners press him for answers, the man dodges it. He doesn't really ever explain his true purpose. Instead, he hints at wanting to come inside the house, insisting without much reason that he has some sort of connection to the house and he needs to be inside.
What do you do? What are you looking for?
I worked for your property before, a long time.
I don't know. Are you looking for someone or can I help you with something?
Yeah, I do your driveway, do the step, do the tile before a long time.
Okay, I guess, you might be working with a previous owner, but I don't know you. I don't recognize you.
Oh, okay. I am on the shop before, the tile in the front of your house before a long time. And your daddy?
The longer the conversation drags on, the more uncomfortable it becomes for everyone.
What are you looking for? I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting right now, but can you tell what are you looking for?
You know nobody in your house?
Yeah, right now I'm outside. I'm going to be there in about 15-20 minutes. I'm out on a meeting. So I'll be home in 15-20 minutes.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
His persistence in trying to gain access without a very clear explanation feels less like a casual visit and more like this man has a hidden agenda. Eventually, realizing that no one is physically present, the man just drifts away. He probably thought he could get someone to open the door and maybe have a face-to-face conversation, but we never really know his true intentions after he leaves. The encounter just leaves a very chilling scene behind. Who was he and what did he want? And more importantly, what would have actually happened if someone had opened the door? Thank God they didn't. So these Ring camera clips just show how unpredictable this footage can be. Sometimes it's bizarre, like the man in California spending hours licking a doorbell. Other times, it's just very unsettling, like the woman in Texas seeking help in the middle of the night, or the family discovering that their camera had been hacked and a stranger had been speaking to their child. In some cases, it's just a simple reminder of all of the everyday risks that we face, like the attempted break-ins or the strangers showing up with very unclear intentions. Ring cameras were, of course, meant to provide security and peace of mind, and in many ways they probably do for a lot of families, but they also capture moments that leave us quite uneasy, highlighting both the benefits and the vulnerabilities of living with this kind of new technology. I mean, you never really know what might show up on your doorstep. And I'm just glad that I don't live alone, because if I had a Ring doorbell camera and any of those situations happened to me, I don't know if I would survive it, to be honest with you. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit like, and if you enjoy this kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next week. Bye.